The whole concept of the Nintendo Switch 2 edition games coming out of the Switch 2 Direct is certainly pretty confusing when it comes to the pricing structure and the physical copies having like that weird banner on the bottom of it that has to explain exactly what it is you're buying. Like there's a lot of weird things that are happening with that whole model, but I won't lie, the Nintendo fanboy in me is kind of giddy at the fact that there is a potential for more Switch 1 games to get ported over with brand new content. It's the new content in older games that I'm interested in. Getting things like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom with good performance and the mobile app, cool. Prime 4 with mouse mode, sick. But I'm talking more along the lines of Super Mario Party Jamboree plus Jamboree TV, like Kirby and the Forgotten Land plus Star-Crossed Worlds. I want to see more of that. If they're going to expect money from us from old games that are only one generation old onto the new generation, there's got to be something there, and I had my mind racing as to what I kind of want those things to be. So, I came up with a list of 5 games that are on Switch 1 that I think would be pretty cool if we got a Switch 2 edition with new content. So, I want to share it with you. Let me know what you think, and let's get started. This one's pretty minor, but I feel like with the right flourishes, it could be pretty cool. If they take Mario vs. Donkey Kong, the remake of the Game Boy Advance game, and say, hey, we're gonna port it to Switch 2, but also include a full remake of Donkey Kong 94, the Game Boy game, in my opinion, the better game of this style. And not only that, it's gonna be in that mode where you're gonna see the new Donkey Kong design exclusively, along with seeing DK Jr. again. There's something there. I think there's something there that could be really, really cool. Because when it comes to that brand new DK design that's showing up in Mario Kart and Bonanza, it harkens back to the original Nintendo designs, which we got to see a whole lot of in DK94. It's on the box art right there. Like that looks like almost the same exact Donkey Kong. So to see that again exclusively in this new mode, let's call it Mario vs. Donkey Kong plus the early days. I don't know, the early conquest, something there. There could be a pun in there for sure. But a lot of it is really just me wanting a full remake of DK94. Because Mario vs. Donkey Kong, it's all fine and dandy, and that game's existence is already kind of capitalizing on things like the Mario movie and Donkey Kong, the attractions in Super Nintendo World, the theme park. Why not go the extra mile, bring in the new DK design so we have 3 games? I think it'd be sick. DK94 is already on the Game Boy app, but I mean, why not? It's my list, I want it anyway. One of the games that is oddly not going to be 100% compatible with the Switch 2 is Warioware Move It, and it makes sense because if you played the game, there's actually a few minigames that use the IR camera in the right Joy-Con, which is not going to be a thing in the Joy-Con 2s, so yeah, that's unfortunate, and what I think they should do is instead of leaving that game exclusive to that console unless you have Joy-Con 1s ready and charged up and good to go, port it, change something with those minigames, and then say, hey, Warioware Move It plus Waluigi's Pinball Arcade. Dude, if they're never gonna do anything with Waluigi in a main game that's not a spin-off, at least incorporate him into the Diamond City universe, into the WarioWare universe, and give him his own thing. People already associate him with pinball due to Mario Kart, why not go the extra mile? Have a bunch of motion-controlled shenanigans that's all pinball themed, you can go all out with like the wackiness that WarioWare you would come to expect, just in the pinball aesthetic. Maybe Waluigi is running like a pinball museum or something and something goes awry and you gotta fix it. Like there's something there that I really want to see Waluigi in this universe. If we're not going to see him do anything in like a Wario Land or a 3D game or nothing else, do something there. WarioWare Move It to take it away from the Switch 1's restrictions on the Joy-Cons and put pinball with Waluigi in there. All those people who clamor for Waluigi and Smash and whatnot, this would be their time to really put up or shut up, spend their money and say that, hey, we actually want Waluigi. I'll be there, and I hope you'll be there too. Nintendo Switch Sports is a very interesting release because on the surface, I would argue that it's a pretty fun game. It's like the weird restrictions with the online multiplayer and the unlockables for the cosmetics that really bog the game down and make it really tough to go back to on a regular basis when everything just feels like so haphazardly thrown together while the minigames themselves are fun. So maybe re-releasing it would be the way to go to fix some of those issues, and then plus, I say we go back to Woohoo Island from Wii Sports Resort. Nintendo Switch Sports plus Woohoo Island Resort. I feel like they tried kinda to make Spacco Square, which I think is how you say the island of Switch Sports. They tried to make something out of it, but it really didn't land. If they go, hey, we're adding a second island, it's Woohoo Island, we're gonna add some of the minigames from Wii Sports Resort with modern controls, and then you're gonna have the flyover minigame where you can do a flyover of Woohoo Island as well as Spacco Square. I think that would round out the package in a really well done way and make it a much more convincing purchase. If you have never gotten to experience the wonder of Wii Sports Resort, then man, you're really missing out. The vibes of Woohoo Island are so immaculate that they made it a race course in Mario Kart and I'm really upset that it didn't get ported over to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe because it's so cool. Like, unironically, Woohoo Island is one of the most personality-driven characters in Nintendo history, and it deserves another time in the spotlight. You already got the sword fighting, throw in the linear sword fighting from Wii Sports Resort, you know? Throw in Frisbee Golf on top of the normal golf. There's the dog fetching game with the Frisbee, that was great. You already got basketball in there, that was in Wii Sports Resort. Go the extra mile, bring in table tennis, bring in archery, bring in the dog fighting mode from the island flyover stuff, you know? Like, there's so much you can do there. If they save all of their energy for Nintendo Switch Sports 2, then that's all fine and dandy, but I need Woohoo Island back. Like, Woohoo Island was so special, and unless they just straight up port it with new lighting and all that, any attempt they have to replicate that vibe, it's not gonna hit. So just embrace it, bring us Woohoo Island, alright Nintendo? Then you'll have a hit on your hands. Pikmin 4 is one of the most content-filled Nintendo games of all time. Like, there is so much to it when it comes to a really lengthy campaign, all the nighttime stuff. There's a lot of post-game things that I still don't want to spoil, but there's actually so much more you can do outside of just the main campaign. So realistically, it doesn't need extra content, but in my head, I'm going, okay, Pikmin 4, maybe with mouse controls, like maybe that's enough for some people to warrant going out for an additional upgrade pack of this game. But what if let's do something a little bit crazy and let's add a new side story, alright? Captain Olimar obviously has a very strong role in this game, but why not give something to Louie? We're gonna call this Pikmin 4 plus Louie's worldwide domination. This dude is such a villain, okay? Every time this dude shows up, he's just getting worse and worse by the adventure. He's a piece of garbage and I hate him, and he wants to do so much damage to the world. Why not have a thing where, like, you get to go through Louie's dreams? Like, maybe Louie is sleeping and you get to go through like normal Pikmin gameplay, but instead you're doing the bad things and you get to actually accomplish that mission. And then at the very end go, okay, Louie woke up, and now you go back to the main game. Like, doesn't that sound cool? Like, I just want some with Louie. Man, you're putting in all this effort to make Louie the biggest jerk possible. Let me play that. Let me play a Pikmin game as the villain. You already did the unthinkable and made me play a Pikmin game at night. This is the next best step. Because if you're just gonna make Pikmin 5 and Louie's gonna be the final thing again, like, it'd be funny, but I want something more substantial there. So I'm thinking Pikmin 4, add mouse mode for the main gameplay, sure. But Louie's worldwide domination? Yeah, I like that. I don't like him, but I like that idea. Now, this is the idea that got my brain going in the first place. I want to see Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door get a Switch 2 edition. People have already found that in the code of this game, there's a 60 FPS option. So right off the bat, you can see that if they port this game to the console, it's going to run at double the frame rate, and that's all fine and dandy. The original game ran at 60, the Switch version ran at 30, put it on par with the GameCube one, sick. Easily the most definitive version of the game, no doubt. But there's always been one little aspect of this game that never got as much content as I wanted. I want to play through Paper Luigi's Waffle Kingdom journey. One of the funniest ongoing jokes in the entire game is as Mario is going on his adventure, every time you go back to Rogueport, you'll find Luigi there with a brand new NPC, and he gets to tell you all about this adventure that he went on in the Waffle Kingdom. All to save Princess Eclair, and all of the party members that he accrues along the way, they hate his guts. They hate him, and it's hilarious that Luigi's talking about how grand of an adventure this is, and then you talk to his buddy next to him and he's like, dude, this guy almost got me killed and burned alive. Like, I want to see that. I gotta see that in action so bad. Oh my god, Nintendo has so much goodwill right now by going back to Thousand Year Door. That's still a remake that I can't believe exists, and I really thought that when it came to this version of the game, they were going to include Paper Luigi gameplay like in the initial release. So above like every other game in the Switch 1 lineup, this to me is the most exciting. This would be 20 plus years of just speculation about what this journey could possibly be. Just give me a multi-hour long adventure, nothing too crazy long, and let me play as Luigi with these party members and save Princess Eclair for myself. Everything else in this video really sounds like a cool idea, of course, because I thought of it, so of course I think it's a cool idea. Like, it's something I want for sure, but this, Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door plus Paper Luigi's Waffle Kingdom journey, that's an easy buy. All this talk about people having like issues with the pricing, and it's totally justified when it comes to the upgrade packs and single games that are worth $80, like that's all totally justifiable, but man, a part of my childhood would be so satisfied by having this finally come to fruition. But let me know what you think down below. There's of course a lot of Switch 1 games that I didn't cover here. Maybe there's some extra content you think that some of those games like Mario Odyssey could use, you never know. I feel like Mario Wonder has a good shot getting a port like this with extra content. Add like a whole new world of different fish for Endless Ocean Luminous. So, you know, there's something there. I'm getting really hyped about some of these ideas, but realistically, we can get something like a jump rope challenge plus hopscotch. That'll be $80, please. Oh God, what a world we live in, huh?